Back at it again, and Biden is absolutely hemorrhaging support right now. It's honestly incredible. The amount of support that he is losing, it's amazing. It truly is. Including big donors who previously supported him. Oh man. I don't see how they pull out of this one. Let's dive in.
One former Democratic fundraiser who helped raise millions of dollars for former President Obama's 2008 presidential campaign is not only supporting former President Trump, she's selling her collection of Democratic collectibles. Joining us now is Allo Ventures managing partner Allison Wynn. Okay, so Allison, this collection is worth millions of dollars. I think you have like JFK's rocking chair in there and the original Obama Hope sign and all these things. You're selling that and flipping from the left to Trump. What's causing you to do that?
Well, I had a really hard time during the pandemic. I'm a single mom of three teenagers living in the San Francisco Bay Area. So you can imagine some of the trials and tribulations I went through.
Allison, a lot of people struggled. A lot of people are looking at the two presidents and their record and saying, here's how I lived under Trump. Here's how I lived under Biden. I'm going to make a different choice than I did in the last election. But you're at least willing to step up and say the party has gotten too progressive and at least for now has lost its way. Why are other Democrats so unwilling to do that?
Well, with the Post article coming out, a lot of my friends called me and said, wow, you're speaking up and telling people your experience as number one, an immigrant, a big tech insider, as well as living in San Francisco and Silicon Valley and some of the things that has gone awry. So our policies, our super liberal leftist policies with San Francisco, it's a science experiment gone awry. And it's the same thing with big tech. There's the big tech and big corporate takeover of the Democratic Party and our daily lives, the daily lives of parents, I guess soccer moms like me, was really bad during COVID. I homeschooled three kids, grocery stores were closed, retail malls were closing all over the San Francisco Bay Area, right? And like I have two teenage girls that can't even go to Macy's, like it's closed now. Just going to like finding a Whole Foods or Safeway. I mean, I couldn't even go grocery shopping.
You know, you're unique in that you also bring a business perspective to the story as well. And I'm curious how you talk about voting based on business policies, how easy or not it is to operate, innovate, low regulations, all of the things that go into creating a successful business.
Well, I think one of the signs of leadership is to be positive and to be very specific with your policies. And I see Trump having very, very specific policies around immigration, around AI, blockchain, as well as creating jobs. So you can look at the 2016 Jobs Act, which was a bipartisan effort. And he did a really great job creating more jobs, also investments in Black, brown communities, as well as kind of like hillbilly areas where J.D. Vance and I grew up. I didn't grow up in the same place he did, but a similar place, like New Braunfels, Texas, which is 5,000 people right outside of Austin.
Allison, thank you for...
And listen, she's not the only one who formerly used to be a big contributor to the Democrat Party. Check out this clip of Jacob Hellberg.
Welcome back. Deep blue turning red as the tide turns for Trump in Silicon Valley. Members of California's historically liberal technology community turning out to support the former president in a massive fundraiser last week. The Trump campaign raking in $12 million at the event. Jacob Hellberg was there. He serves as the senior policy advisor at Palantir and Stanford University Center on Geopolitics and Technology. Jacob, great to have you. Thank you so much for being here. You were once a prominent Democrat donor. You gave to Biden in his last presidential campaign, but you were there this week supporting President Trump. What happened?
So part of what we've seen over the last 4 years is I came from a one-party state, and like a lot of people in California and in Silicon Valley, I saw the Democratic Party get hijacked by the squad and a woke theology. President Biden campaigned as a moderate and ultimately has governed as a radical progressive. He has spent all of his time catering to his base. And ultimately, he's now completely out of step with where the rest of the country is. Silicon Valley is in the business of building the future, and a lot of the philosophy that's been coming out of Washington has been about strangulating innovation instead of encouraging and supporting it.
Yeah, and we were talking earlier in the show about regulation with Senator Kramer that has really shackled so many executives in terms of their efforts to grow. Give us your sense of what specific policies are most problematic and where you want to see change in a new leadership in America.
Well, there are policies related to people's day-to-day work. The 44% capital gains would have an absolutely devastating impact on the venture capital business. The executive order on AI has caused a great deal of controversy because it has a mandatory reporting requirement that a lot of people view as a stepping stone to licensing. The crusade against crypto, a lot of people are very frustrated about that too. But there are also more personal issues like October 7th. That has turned so many different voters into single issue voters who were lifelong Democrats and who now see that the Democratic Party today is completely different than it was yesterday, and it's time to make a change.
Time for a change. You know, it's honest. Goodness gracious. It's honestly amazing how much they want to just continually raise taxes more and more and more, but they never curtail the spending. Like, if you just stop spending so much money, you wouldn't have to take so much money from the citizens. Like, duh. So I hope, and I think Trump will do this, when he gets into office, he takes the Javier Milei approach to a lot of this government bloat. A lot of these government programs that are just like unnecessary. They've just been there. You know, they just keep getting funded because they've been there for years, right? Some of the three-letter agencies. I hope he just completely just gets rid of them. Just gone. In the words of Javier Milei, afuera, right? I showed you guys that video clip where he was just like getting rid of all of these programs, you know, the program for, I don't remember like what the tags were, but it was like weird programs, like program for school boards or something, organizing school boards, and just get rid of it. This one too, get rid of it. I hope Trump goes in there and just absolutely gets rid of everything, and also gets rid of our taxes. I won't complain about that either, okay? Okay, goodness gracious. And, well, actually, let me show y'all this clip as well, because what Trump was able to do recently in terms of fundraising is honestly pretty amazing. Check it out.
If you're sitting in Biden's headquarters, you do not like these numbers because what they do show is that Donald Trump is going to have enough money to run this campaign in a very full way. You don't like that your numbers are so much smaller than his in that month of May, and you're probably redoubling your efforts to raise money to make sure that that doesn't happen. If you just look at Trump and the RNC, they raised $106 million together in May. You look at Biden and the DNC, that number is $60 million. The difference there is basically 76% more for Trump and the RNC than Biden and the DNC. That's not sustainable for the Democrats if that were to continue month after month.
And I expect it to continue month after month. Maybe not that big of a gap, but I do expect there to be a significant gap in fundraising for the remainder of the year, you know, leading up to the election. I don't expect Joe Biden and Democrats to be able to close that gap. I think people are fed up, and you saw it in those numbers there. People are not only just fed up, but they're fed up enough to where they're putting their money where their mouth is. And we talked about this when, the news first broke, but the 70 million that was raised, it was probably closer to 100 million later on, but the numbers that were reported were 70 million in the first 48 hours. That was all from small donors, small donations. That wasn't like the mega millionaires or billionaires donations. That was from small donors like you and I that were just fed up, just had enough. And 30% of that was from brand new donors, people that had never donated before. So I think that even also speaks volumes to, where we are as a country. And, hey, it's great for Trump. People are fed up so much that they're putting their money where their mouth is. And I don't see Biden closing that gap. I really don't. Even if they replace Biden, I don't see somebody else other than Biden closing that gap. Right? I just don't see it. I think it's too little, too late. Even if they try to pull Biden after this coming debate, which I believe is part of their plan, which is why they wanted the debate so early. I believe part of their plan is to hopefully replace Biden before it's too late, but I think it's already too late. But that's just my opinion. Y'all let me know yours in the comment section. Peace and love. I'm out.